A journalist and Nobel laureate in the Philippines won a major battle in court last week after years of attacks from the country's government.
Maria Ressa was acquitted on Wednesday of 4 tax evasion charges against her. Ressa's news site Rappler was also pardoned. The journalist's legal problems with the government started under former President Rodrigo Duterte's administration when Rappler was extensively covering his deadly war on drugs. This is the first legal decision in Ressa's case to come out since the new president of the Philippines took office. And I'm glad to say Maria Ressa is with us now. It is so great to speak with you, Maria. Can you talk to us about just the meaning of this legal victory for you who've been fighting for facts, for truth, for democracy for such a long time?
It's huge. I mean, if you think about it, the harassment and intimidation tactics against us began in 2016, soon after former President Rodrigo Duterte was elected. And then the legal cases came about a year later when he attacked us in his State of the Nation address. A week later, we got our first subpoena, 14 investigations, 10 arrest warrants in less than 2 years. And finally, after 4 years and 2 months, this was the first ever legal decision that went our way. So, it took 34 years off of my shoulder. That was the maximum prison sentence that went with this. So this time last week, I was mentally preparing to go to jail for doing my job.
And, part of your case was brought against you because they were just unhappy with what you were reporting, with what the role that Rappler was playing in the Philippines during this time of restricted press freedoms, and they were in essence successful in making you also try to focus on protecting your own freedoms, keeping yourself out of prison. Talk to us a little bit about the strategy of the government, of Duterte's government, in trying to occupy your time and trying to silence your voice.
Yeah, I just wrote about a book that came out, How to Stand Up to a Dictator. And in that, I laid out how these types of illiberal leaders that are elected democratically expect you to give up your rights voluntarily. And starting in 2016, we demanded an end to impunity. Impunity of Rodrigo Duterte's drug war. It was a brutal drug war that began hours after he took office. And the impunity of Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook. That has been the crux of our last 6 years. But I think more than that, these harassment cases were meant to take our time, energy. It was a war of attrition. There's still 3 more left, and we continue to battle.
Yeah, I'm wondering precisely about that. I mean, I know that at a certain point there were about 10 charges against you. You were facing a possible just life sentence. Can you tell us about the other cases and what's your strategy in fighting these new charges these other charges under this new president? Are you feeling hopeful? Just walk us through that.
I think one of the things that did happen is the environment of fear has lifted. And what we are beginning to see is the independence of the judiciary. The Philippine Constitution is modeled after the U.S. Constitution. And so there are the 3 charges. There's a 5th tax evasion charge that is linked to those 4. So that verdict is expected in June. There is a cyber libel case that is already brought all the way up to the Supreme Court. We are expecting a decision on that relatively soon. And then finally, the last one is one that is connected to the closure of Rappler. There's a Damocles sword hung over us where every day we do our jobs or we could get shut down. That's the Securities and Exchange Commission. Again, political harassment, we hold the line and we just keep doing our jobs.
That's a big phrase of yours, hold the line. We're all learning.
Maria Ressa, thank you.